Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast. Grab your weapons because we're going into a revisited for the Expendables franchise. The fourth movie is coming out this week. We will be doing a review for it, so check it out when we release it. But we want to look back at the previous three movies, their big action staples. So, Akram, you're a big action fan. What are your thoughts on the first three movies?
They were alright. No, they were iconic just because of the cast, the characters. I think the story, for the most part, they're pretty underwhelming. Of course, this movie wouldn't be anything without the actors and these iconic legends in the industry of action movies. So that's why they will always stand out. I don't know if there's really a cult following for Expendables. It's kind of like the same thing with like Jaws. Do you guys really exist? If you do, cool. You guys are still weirdos though, but that's fine. So we start off with Expendables 1. Sylvester Stallone is leading a ragtag team of mercenaries, and his second in command is Jason Statham, which I always found funny because I always kind of wish it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. But at least Arnold Schwarzenegger does make an appearance in this franchise too, which is awesome. Let me get your thoughts on the movies overall. Like, did you enjoy them? Were they like good for you?
I agree with you. They're not bad. They're definitely showcases of talent. And it's obviously like an homage to all the action stars from, the 80s and 90s and stuff. Of course, Sylvester Stallone just makes sense as the lead. He's, Rocky, right? But we also have some, big names too. We have Dolph Lundgren, we have Terry Crews, Jet Li, so many other great actors. Like you said, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis as Agent Church. And over the course of the movies, we get more and more inclusions. We had like Harrison Ford in the last movie. And some of the villains too were like big action stars. We'll get into that too. But yeah, I mean, the plots are pretty generic. It's everything you expect from a action movie, but it's definitely like a big showcase of gun fu in a way. But I did like some like the set designs and also like their big biplane that they have. I thought that was cool. That was like the tricked out, right? So, but yeah, you're big on guns. What do you think of like some of the weapons? Because I know you're a big critic when it comes to like arsenal.
Yeah. Really strange because they don't even like messing with modern hardware for the most part, and their kits are like really weird too. They're nothing like Terminalist, where I think those type of shows, especially John Wick and stuff, they kind of paved the way for the gun community, especially in the sense of tactical gear and this and that, and just modding things in a really kind of elegant way. These guns and stuff, they seem really, in a way, sort of outdated, and perhaps that is a commentary, not on the actors being outdated, but they're familiar with what they're using. And of course, those guns are old, so it was around their time when they were like in their prime. So of course, they're going to use those. But nothing really to go cry home about, if that's how you say the saying. I'm really bad with sayings. But I think for the most part, they're okay. Again, there's more impressive stuff that you'd see. I think the most impressive thing in this series is probably the AA-12. That's the shotgun that Terry Crews held, and I think later on Arnold Schwarzenegger as well held. That was really impressive. I think this movie, and then juxtaposed to the Predators movie with the AA-12, popularized that shotgun. But after that, it's like nobody's really using it anymore. And of course, Barney Ross, he holds his, I forgot if it's like Colt 45 revolvers or something like that. He has those revolvers, which of course aren't really practical, but I mean, nonetheless, really stylistic and cool. And I think that's what sets it apart from other action movies, is that they go for this type of aesthetic.
It's stylized. It's all stylized.
It is stylized. But will people actually really notice that aspect, or will people notice the actual it's just the characters? That's what I always wonder about these movies, because I feel like once I watch these movies, I always forget about them real fast for some reason. That's the unfortunate side effect of it.
I think it's like just like I said, like an homage to the action stars. In a way, it's kind of like almost like a band reunion, if you think about it. It's like all the great action legends coming together, right? Just this big bombastic movie. I think they didn't really care too much about like what the story was. The second one I really enjoyed, I'll be honest. I think the story was better than that one. And I like how they kind of like integrate some of the younger actors, like Liam Hemsworth was in the second movie. And the fourth one coming out is gonna have a lot of the newer, younger actors now. And they managed to utilize they throw in like some Easter eggs like from some of their previous movies, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like Terry Crews said, like if I don't get my gun back, you're gonna be terminated or something. And they use like the actors to like some of their strengths. Like Jet Li, obviously, he's known for martial arts scenes, so they use him a lot of martial arts scenes. And they kind of like throw little references, and it's basically like a love letter to the 90s, if you want to say, like all the huge action stars, but nothing like too crazy. Like if anything, well, it's weird now looking at how like old they are, and they're still doing like action movies even now. Like even Sylvester Stallone, he looks so old now, but he's still doing like all these movies and stuff. But when you watch Expendables 1, he still looked pretty young, and then when you watch well, even the new one now from the trailer, he looks so old.
Yeah. Honestly, what's interesting about this is that they're always like the same shit, different smell, kind of like the actors are awesome, but I feel, and this is maybe a side note, but like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, probably Bruce Willis and Wesley Snipes are the only actors that really do anything different in their career in sense of the genre and stuff like that. And so when they come into this, they have like these other actors that are primarily, I mean, excluding like, let's say Antonio Banderas, he was in action movies, but you wouldn't really consider him like a huge action star or something like that. So like excluding the other people, that's when I think there's like a clash. It could be kind of deeper. It could be kind of, and maybe that's not what people are looking for. It's like going to the Meg 2 and expecting substance, you know, unless you're a marine biologist, as you said. But I mean, when you go to these movies, they're just kind of face value, like, oh, okay, this is fun. But I hate these type of movies because then you forget about it real fast. These movies remind me of early PS3 games where it's just random games that come out. They're like action oriented. They maybe have a specific genre or style. They're fun, but you forget about it. And so it doesn't really matter. But maybe I'm thinking too deep into this. I probably am. As for the overall like experience of what the movies are, it is fun. The cast of characters is great. The action, I think, is not bad. It's not like in a level of like the Raid 2 or something like that, which is funny.
No. Yeah.
Which is funny because Iko Uwais, right, is going to be in, I believe, the next one.
The new one, yeah.
Right, so...
Yeah, and like even the stunts, like they're cool. Like even the explosions and stuff are kind of cool, but they're not like... Actually, I think like Fast and Furious does like a lot better like action, like stunt coordination than this movie. This to me kind of feels like Mission Impossible in a way. Like they add like new blood to each movie, but it's still kind of like you said, same shit, different smell. But like it's more, I guess, for like maybe like fans of the 90s. If you think about it, it's like is there really like a cult following for Expendables? I mean, the first one was cool. I do like think it was like a action staple, but then like after that, I mean, I personally enjoy the second one because Jean-Claude Van Damme was the villain in that one. He did the iconic the kick in that one, and he actually like felt like a villain. The third one was kind of like mid, to be honest. I mean, you had Mel Gibson as the villain, but it was just Mel Gibson being Mel Gibson. To be honest.
He was like yelling at people on the phone.
The camera. They didn't even give him direction. They said, "Just do your thing," and then he just went full.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Wesley Snipes too. That tax evasion joke didn't age well, but and you had like some new blood, like Ronda Rousey. To be honest, I didn't care much. I mean, that's only because people thought she was pretty at the time.
She's like a 6 or 5, to be honest with you. Anyways, anyway, I'm proud to say that because I heard she's like a mean bitch in real life. So fuck her. But
you will never hear her name anymore.
Yeah, I know. I mean, these movies feel. In a way, sort of meta sometimes when they introduce like Liam Hemsworth or Ronda Rousey, and it's like this new generation, and it's as if saying like these are the new action stars, but it doesn't really go anywhere because Liam Hemsworth is not doing anything. He's just gonna be The Witcher, and that's really about it. And Ronda Rousey's like gone. I don't know where she is. So I don't know how they'll rectify anything with Expendables 4. I doubt that there'll be like this turning moment. There'll probably be the last movie, to be honest with you, because Expendables 1, let's see when it came out. It came out in 2010, then 2012, and 2014. And there's this pattern where these type of genre-esque movies, like these the feeling you get watching these, the way how the acting is, the action, stuff like that. Same thing with Adam Sandler movies, but like back then, they're gone. You don't see any more movies like that. I feel like this is a dying breed, and now the audience is expecting more of, let's say something more serious, a little bit more gritty and visceral. I don't even know if Jason Bourne movies would even do well now with modern audiences with the cutting and the editing. So really, the main selling point, of course, is the ensemble. That's the main selling point. But how far can you stretch that to? One thing to note as well, at the time of this video being posted, we do have a Sly documentary that's coming out on Netflix, and we already just had one for Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think it's a 3-parter. So I wonder if the SEO and shit like that will help this movie out. But for the most part, I don't think too much avail. And anyway, these movies, I never seen any of these movies in the theaters. I always seen them like on Netflix DVD. It kind of feels like those movies that you'll see like at home for some reason.
You watch it on like TNT or Spike.
Yeah. Especially the first one.
Do they even do well at Rotten Tomatoes? They're probably like what?
Let me see.
I looked it up right now.
Yeah, that got like 41%. Expendables 1. Expendables 2 got 67, so you said you liked that one. Expendables 3 got 31. Expendables 3, though, I will admit, I don't know why they did PG-13. I think there was something about they wanted to reach a broader audience or some shit like that. At the time, remember when they were really afraid to do rated R movies because they thought that, it wouldn't do too well in the box office. And then we had Deadpool, right? They did something really cool. It's kind of an experiment, and I think a lot of movies and shows adapted from it, where you could have a PG-13 movie, but there could still be a lot of like death. And I think they handle it in a really interesting way. Sometimes, albeit weird, but they still handle it. They managed it well. So I think that's like a learning experience for other films to take from and other directors to take from. Is if you're backed in a corner, at least you could still make this type of decision, and it could possibly work.
They got away with it pretty good in the third movie. I mean, you saw, of course, like bodies like littered the floor, but it wasn't like The Equalizer where that motherfucker like just went full Michael Myers on everybody.
Yeah.
But I think they're kind of like almost like a reminder of like the big names, like who's trending right now, like who are the big action stars. I don't know why they got Megan Fox in the fourth one, because I haven't heard her name since Transformers.
No, yeah.
Iko Uwei's still kind of prominent. I'm surprised they didn't get more like Asian actors, like Andrew Koji. He's doing the Warrior right now.
It's enough Asian actors in Mortal Kombat 1.
Shit.
No, that is true.
Or even like Donnie Yen. He's like a big action star.
I just want Jackie Chan, honestly.
Or Jackie Chan.
I just wanted a Jet Li and Jackie Chan meet up, really.
Shit.
Like, I mean, Megan Fox, though, she's in the new Mortal Kombat. She was in that new movie that I think was a Hulu exclusive that didn't do really well. She's at some way, she was in like the action genre a couple of times. Let's just say that. But yeah, I mean, you have the big names again, like you said, Donnie Yen. But where's Jackie Chan? Guys, check out The Foreigner, by the way. That's a random thing. Check out The Foreigner or Jackie Chan.
Such a good movie.
I like that movie. It was so like raw and gritty, and I just love that movie. That's so good.
Well, even the fourth movie, the premise is basically like the New Blood, right? But it's like that's basically what the third movie did. It was like, it's supposed to introduce the new generation of mercenaries, right?
Yeah,
I feel like they'd have to kill off Barney, as sad as that is.
Oh man!
In the fourth one, maybe it's like a going away or like a send off to him, right? Is like his final mission or something.
I don't know. I feel like the problem with setting your movies that really the actors are the main selling point is you kind of kill your movies when you kill off somebody. It depends on who it is, but it's kind of like this really pinpointed, like who's the most famous actor, or we don't want to touch him, we don't want to kill off Arnold or something like that, or whatever, maybe even Jason Statham they'll kill off or whatever, something like that. He's famous, but whatever. I don't know, it's a dying breed of but that's why I admire Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, especially because they always try to do things in different fields like drama. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a little bit more goofy with some of the movies he's done in the past, especially we just did Fubar. But Sylvester Stallone, at least, is a great drama actor. I'm surprised he
tries to outdo himself in every action movie that he's in.
He is great. He is really great. Sylvester Stallone has always been into drama anyway. In the first place, look at the first Rocky movie. I'm surprised they didn't get Michael, what's his name? From Creed? Right? Michael, let me see his name. Sorry, guys. Michael Michael B. Jordan. Yeah.
Flaking out, yeah. Why didn't they get him?
That would have been cool, at least for like the fourth movie or something, like a cool team up or something like that.
Well, they got 50 Cent, but it's like
50 Cent's too big, yeah. And then the next movie he's gonna throw microphones at people. He's just like, yeah, what he's gonna do?
He's gonna throw his new album at all the mercenary.
Yeah, he better not have like Desert Eagle 50 caliber. So watch him have that 50 AE.
Right.
He's gonna have that
gold plated or some shit. It's so cringe.
Tongue on cheek.
The fourth movie is gonna be like basically like a Fortnite DLC or some shit.
These movies do feel like video games. So it's you have a boss and you have like the team up of characters, and they always feel like a Konami game or some shit like that. And then you just like go for it, and that's it.
I'm surprised they didn't get like Ryan Reynolds or I keep thinking of the Gray Man. So long ago we did that review. Chris Hemsworth. I mean, not Chris.
But Chris Hemsworth's a good idea.
Chris Evans.
Yeah. I mean, again, you have legacy actors, but the new actors they bring in is not really super exciting, and then they fall into the trap of bringing in like some which I don't mind. Some UFC fighters are great. It's really interesting to see them act, but they bring those in. I mean, and they're gonna probably pull a Triple X, the latest sequel, where they're gonna bring in like soccer players. Or watch them bring like Messi or something, or like Ronaldo, like whatever into this.
How desperate you gotta be.
Yeah, it's just like at the end of the day, it becomes kind of like a really branded thing. I'm surprised this whole movie doesn't have like Pepsi logos all around it and shit like that. It does feel like one of those movies where like it's all about the superficial. Which again, it's okay. That's fine. I mean, but you're probably not going to do too well in the box office or make another movie. That's the thing. I mean, look at the Meg. That's like one of those old. It feels like an old kind of 2000s movie presented in a modern day, and it's just like it's not that good.
It's another paycheck for Jason Statham because that motherfucker can't do transporter movies anymore.
Yeah, I know. That's what they should do. Come up with another one. Well, out of what are the strongest qualities of the Expendables movie? Because we bashed it a lot. What are the strongest qualities, you think?
Well, obviously the actors. It's more of it's hard because it's like you don't watch it for substance, right? You watch it for action content. But even some of the, like I said, some of the action content too is like some like mid. Like the third one was kind of weak. I think the third one just ran a little too long because it was like a 2-hour, 14-minute movie. At least like the second one, like the pacing felt kind of nice. But nonetheless, I think the chemistry between the characters is really nice. You like, really feel like they're brothers in a way. And like most like, if you watch like these kind of like action oriented like Band of Brothers types of movies, you have to have like a good chemistry between the actors, right? Otherwise it feels like it's kind of isolated. So I think they do a good job of, making it feel like they're a crew, right? It's kind of like this like Fast and Furious like family in a way. Family. I mean the costumes are kind of nice too, but I think the weapons, like you said, it could be better. They're using like older gen.
Yeah, I mean next one thing that they always like to surprise people with the next actors they bring. I feel like that for me at least, because that's the main selling point. That's maybe next time they'll bring Groot or the McDonald's clown or something. It's like, wow, but that's the strongest selling point to me always. And yeah, it's this comedic chemistry between the characters in the face of danger. And then there's light notes of drama speckled within it, which at least there's that. At least it's not just like samurai cop type of cheese in it. At least it's like, okay, you got that. At least you're trying. I don't know. You guys let us know in the comments below. How do you feel about Expendables? Maybe we're being too harsh on it. I know that we're supposed to take it in a different type of way, like just to see the movie for seeing the movie. But as critics, we like to dive deeper into certain movies because, when you do that, if certain franchises actually do that, perhaps they'll actually last longer. Maybe they'll make even more sequels, make more money. It'll be coveted. It'll be kind of like it'll have a cult following even more so, right? We are doing a Revisited for Jaws. That's going to drop sometime later on the month. And we talked about how the other movies were complete pitiful. But the first movie has a cult following, right? And that's the thing. So I think that's what everyone should strive for, is at least to make one iconic one. If you don't have one that has good substance, good like themes and stuff that you could pick at for years to come, then you're not going to really stand the test of time. You're just going to be known for having great actors.
Yeah, franchises unfortunately nowadays are cursed in a way. Like I think nowadays if you get away with 2 good movies, then you've made it.
Mhm.
Everything after that kind of like
Crumbles.
it's like it crumbles. Basically, it's like now you're just watching it just to watch it, right?
Sure.
Or just to make money at that point. But I think Expendables, the first 2 were pretty good. Third one was kind of lackluster. Perhaps even I'm predicting the 4th one won't even be that great, to be honest. But nonetheless, I'm still gonna watch it. It's still a good, time to go to the theaters right now. So enjoy it. Well, because the action genre, I always feel like is kind of fading in a way. Because it's like, what can you really do anymore with the action genre? I mean, sad to say, but
this type, what's interesting? That's what I'm saying. Like this, even the gear and stuff, it's old style. Because now, again, you have stuff like the Terminal List. Like people are becoming more aware of what we call Gucci guns, and just the way how. I mean, in the Terminal List, the guy's rocking gear, a light that's like $5,000 just a light, and so you're not really seeing that in Expendables. And I think that's also, I don't know if it's like a meta thing. I don't think they intended it, but it kind of shows like, okay, well, your type of action, your type of violence is kind of like a dying breed. Now we want to see more of a more calculated and trained approach to action, more specific kind of. And you do see these newer actors like Chris Pratt or like John Wick. They actually go to training. Like we've seen a lot of actors, for example, what's his name again? Michael B. Jordan, when he played Killmonger, he went to Terran Tactical Ranch and he learned how to shoot really good from a grandmaster at creating weapons. And so this is like the new approach. It's more calculated, more like
methodical.
Methodical. Exactly. That's the new thing that we're seeing now. And I'm down for it. I mean, in a way, that's kind of more realistic. That's how you approach these scenarios. So unfortunately, mindless fun is only mindless fun at the end of the day. And yeah.
Well said, my friend. Well, guys, that is our thoughts on the Expendables 1 to 3. But yeah, the new movie's coming out. Let us know what you thought of the movies, if you're big fans, or if you're critics as well like us. Let us know your thoughts down below. If you made it to the end of this video, we really appreciate a like, share. Anything helps the channel, guys. Check out our other revisiteds, because we like to go back sometimes and look at older movies, not just new stuff all the time. But yeah, we appreciate you guys so much. Anything helps the channel. We have plenty of content, so check us out. But until then, guys, thanks for having lunch with us.
I'll see you guys.